how to deal with indecision. If you find yourself being indecisive around a decision or a situation, or just generally, and you're not trying to be and you don't want to be indecisive, but you are, what can you do about it? So I want to run you through this today. I had a client reach out to me and around an opportunity, and she said, I'm so indecisive at the moment, but I'm trying not to be. And I could have just given her a straight answer. But instead, I said to her, I said, look, let's deal with this. Let's deal with this concept, first of all, that you seem to be indecisive. This is a very successful client of mine. She's an 8-figure business owner and entrepreneur, multiple businesses, multiple sources of income. So it's very not like her to be like this. So I said, let's deal with this first of all, this fact that you think you're being indecisive, but you're trying not to be. The first question I would say, and I'd have you ask yourself, is why do you think you're being indecisive? Like, what is going on for you that makes you feel indecisive? Now, there's more reasons that I'm going to get to as to why you would find yourself being this way, but we've got to remember that winners, successful people have formed the habit of making decisions quickly and changing them, if they change them at all, very slowly. So we want to become a great decision maker and we want to be confident. And there's a line that you can put in your self-image script if you've got one, or just to begin to say to yourself or affirm, I love it, I use it myself, and it is this. You want to write this down. I am certain of myself. Just as a one-liner that you can begin to say and affirm to give yourself a boost of confidence and courage and that surety. And ultimately, that confidence and courage in yourself comes from studying yourself, comes from knowing thyself. But it's a good place to start. Then I would have a look, if you're noticing yourself being indecisive, it's a paradigm thing and there's multiple reasons behind it, but I'd try to get to the bottom, like, what is going on for you? Why all of a sudden do you feel indecisive? Has something happened that's knocked your confidence, or, you know, are you out of your comfort zone? Is it a decision that's beyond your current comfort zone? Is it a decision that's outside of your current self-image? And so you feel scared, and that's why you're being indecisive. Try to articulate that. Take out your journal and write about it. The second thing that I would say is the person that's achieving your goals and dreams, creating the success results that you really want, are they indecisive? Like, put yourself in that energy, get yourself into the end goal self-image. And very quickly there, you'll see how they would behave or respond with respect to the situation or the opportunity or the decision that's on the table. It's highly likely they wouldn't be indecisive. But if you can connect with that energy and connect with the energy of the self-image of the person that has achieved your goal, so you've got to use your imagination to do that, really think from the end, you will see the decision or the right decision that needs to be made. It'll help you to stop being indecisive. We become indecisive when we're in circumstance, when we're attached to circumstances or situations, or we're rising and falling with what's going on outside of us. So we don't want to do that, because otherwise we're not going to create anything better than what we've already got. Does that make sense? Type me a yes on the chat here if that makes sense. I would also say that if you're indecisive around anything, your paradigm is having a field day with you for one reason or another. Your paradigm is that habitual way of operating, and it's automatic. You can change your paradigm. That's a beautiful thing about it, but it likes to keep you in the comfort zone. It likes to keep you in the status quo, the way you've always done things. And so if you're sort of thinking in new dimensions, if you're looking to make decisions in new dimensions, you're starting to stretch that frequency or that level of awareness to a new level, it's going to start to have a field day with you. It's going to start to say things like, see, I told you you couldn't do it. Look at what you're spending. You don't have enough time in the day for this. It's going to say things like, who do you think you are? It's going to say, what will Johnny think? What about Mary? You haven't asked such and such for an opinion, and you always ask them for an opinion. So it's going to start to sort of like tentacles come at you in lots of different ways, and that's going to make you feel indecisive. So what is the antidote to this? What do? You got to ask yourself, what do you really want? What is your goal? And if you don't have a goal right now, then that's something we need to talk about. If you don't know the direction that you're heading, because vague direction in life, vague results. More specific direction, better results. Like, it's all linked together here. But what is it that you really want? What are you trying to achieve in this situation? What's the outcome that you're trying to get to? And what decision then aligns with that outcome or aligns with that goal? And we can do that on a very macro level around our C-type goals, our big goals, the ones that you think are too big for you. But we can also do it on a very micro level around the little decisions that there's thousands of them in the day that you've got to make, right? You know this. So then coming back to that question of what do you really want? What's the outcome that you're trying to get to? If everything could be possible and work out for you, what do you see? And then be willing and have the courage to make a decision that lines up with that. That's so important. And you get better at making decisions when you start to make decisions. It's like a runner becomes a good runner when they start to run. A walker doesn't become a good runner by walking. Like, it can make you strong and fit, but you get better at it by doing it. And it's the same with decision making. So start with the little micro decisions. Become a very quick, fast decision maker. What to have for dinner, what restaurant to go and eat at, what you're going to wear for the day, saying yes to replying to emails really quickly. Like, become good at decision making with the little things in your day. And that'll help you become better at making decisions faster and more confidently on the bigger opportunities that are coming your way. Just get out of indecision. Like, that's nothing good happens in an indecisive state of mind. The other thing that indecision is usually a very clear sign of is that you're too far into the mechanical. You're too far into the mechanical, you're too far into the doing and the external situation and circumstance. And so that's your point of support. What we have to do is we've got to go back to the inside. I call this touching lightly. Like, what is your point of support? Is it within you or is it outside of you? Are you self-poised? Are you in control? Or does your center, your self-control, dependent on something outside of you? You're waiting for something or someone else to change. That's going to create a state of indecision, because you're waiting to see what happens over here, or you're waiting to see what happens over here, or what that person thinks, or what happens with this particular client, or whether that money comes through. And so you create this state of indecision and ambiguity, but also what starts to happen is none of those things can manifest the way you want them to either, because there's indecision out there. There's no clarity. You're not being definitive of what you want to see happen and how you want it to see happen. When you make a confident decision ahead of time, right? You don't wait for the situation or the circumstance to change. You make it ahead of time. You start to determine the frequency. You start to determine what's going to happen. And so things start to respond to that clear, concise, direct, definitive vibration you're expressing, and things start to happen for you. Does that make sense? So this is how you can get out of being indecisive and back into that clear state of mind where you're able to make those decisions, confidently. So if you are noticing you become very indecisive, you're not sure, all have it. So much more we could talk about on this. Not for today's video. I'm trying to keep this short. It's Friday afternoon live. But you got to go back to spirit. You got to come home. You got to go back to who you are. And you got to ask that question again. What do I really want? What's the decision that serves the goal, the outcome that I'm looking for? And you got to use that internal GPS system that you have and work with it and program it, because it will guide you then to the decisions that you need to make. It'll attract to you the opportunities, the resources, and so forth. So I would love it if this has been helpful for you in any way. Please love heart this video. Please leave a comment, because it helps other people find it as well. Please follow me, share it with a friend, subscribe to my channel. All of those things are really, really helpful so that more people benefit from this too. So thanks for watching and have a great afternoon. Bye for now.